Hey everybody, welcome back to Mission Bend Branch. I'm Natasha and this is Food for Thought. This month we're doing spooky cake decorating. Now we're just gonna ice cake and make it look all super cool. And for that, I pre-baked 2 8-inch rounds of Duncan Hines white cake mix. All I did was dye it with some black food dye, put in a bunch of drops and got it nice and where I wanted it to be. So I baked these previously and I let them cool because that's how you want it to be before you ice anything. But you get to join me for our icing making. So we're gonna start with a cup of unsalted butter. You don't wanna use the stuff that you put on your toast or anything. You want the nice, extra creamy, like stick type butter. It works better for this. So it's at room temperature, it's nice and squishy. So we're gonna just cut it up in little chunks and pop it into our bowl right here, and then we're gonna use this guy and mix it all up. So here we go. It's a bit messy, isn't it? Looks better if we cut it into chunks because the hand mixer might get a little overwhelmed if we just put the whole chunk in there. So we're just gonna cut it up a little bit. Like so. And always remember to pre-wash your bowls before you start baking, which I did do, because you don't want any dust reaching in to your cake. Let's go like that. Oop. Got nice and soft there, so it's a little sticky. Sorry guys, a little messy here. And there we go. Now just put our makeshift cutting board aside. And always make sure to have a roll of paper towels on hand should our adventure into cooking get messy. And always, always wear an apron to protect your clothes. Okay. So I'm gonna have to look up the specifics of the recipe. I don't always keep it up 1000% in my head. So give me 1 second. Okay, now we have all our butter cut up in the bowl. We're gonna add our powdered sugar. Now this recipe that I got from the Live Well Bake Often website, I just simply Googled how to make buttercream frosting. This is the first recipe that popped up and it's been my favorite to make ever since. Calls for 3 cups of powdered sugar. It's a lot, but it's delicious. So we're gonna carefully toss them in here. You don't want any like a little cloud coming back at you, because that's messy. Okay, make sure you get everything there. Now I know that this seems like a lot of sugar and it's gonna be super sweet, but at one point we will be adding just a pinch of salt to kind of cut that sweetness. And you are also welcome to use even less sugar if you so choose, which I have done for different recipes. Not this one. I'll leave all the sugar in for this one. But a different recipe I do for a cake. I cut the sugar in because that one asks for 4 cups of powdered sugar. Okay, so we're just gonna go ahead and mix on low speed for about 30-40 seconds till it kind of gets incorporated. Then we're gonna mix on a higher speed for about 1 to 2 minutes. You'll be able to tell when it's all mixed in, and I'll show you. It'll look the way, you'll know. It'll look the way it's supposed to. Okay, so we're like midway through the process and I had some powdered sugar piling up on the sides here. So I'm just using my handy dandy spatula here. Shout out to Rachel's for the gift. And we're just gonna scrape it off the sides and put it more to the center so we can continue. And despite the fact that, you know, we started slow with the mixing speed, it still went everywhere. That's gonna happen. So just be careful. So let's continue. Okay, so you're gonna notice that when you get to the higher speed, the butter and the powdered sugar are gonna get kind of like sandy or crumbly, and you're like, what's happening? I thought it was supposed to be incorporating. Am I doing it wrong? You're doing fine. It takes a minute, your arm will get tired. But just keep going at it and it will mix and you will know. Okay, so we've gotten to the point where it's nice and it looks kind of whipped almost, like a whipped mixture. This is where you want it to be right before you add in the extra stuff to make it what it needs to be. So we're gonna start with 2 tablespoons of heavy whipping cream. And you can add more if you feel like you need it, but I usually stick with 2, at most 3. So we're gonna go ahead and add those in. And you might notice that you have like a little bit of the powdered sugar still sitting at the bottom. It didn't incorporate. This should help it incorporate to the rest of the mixture. Get all that in there. Okay. Keep it handy if we need more. Then we're also gonna add 1 teaspoon, ooh, imagine 1 tablespoon. 1 teaspoon of vanilla. That would be a funky taste. Carefully, because if you over vanilla something, there we go. Tap that in. Put it to the side. And then we are gonna add just a little pinch of salt, because sometimes the salt crystals don't dissolve, so you don't want it to be grainy. So you just want to put a little bit, or that's what I do. So you might want to just go ahead and do it to your, ooh, that's a bunch. Do it to your preference so it's not too much. So a little pinch. There we go. Return. Shake it off. And let's continue. You're gonna start back slowly so it doesn't go flying everywhere, and then you can increase up to a medium type speed. Okay, now that we've incorporated the milk, the little pinch of salt, the vanilla, we're going to dye our icing. And because I'm making a pumpkin, I got some orange right here. And because we're also gonna put a little jack-o'-lantern face on it, make it spooky, I got some black icing right here. And I'm gonna use this sandwich bag as my piping bag. So I gotta take a little bit of icing out so I can mix it in with the black dye. So we're just gonna put it here. We don't even need that much even. I could have used less, but that's fine. So we're gonna put it aside, but we're gonna go ahead and put that there. Go ahead and dye this. That's stuck on there. There we go. Okay, I'm gonna put about 6 drops in there, I guess, to intensify. 6, 2 extra, 2 for luck. Depends on how intense you want that color. And if I want to add more after I've mixed it in, we'll add more. So let's see. Ooh, that's a nice color. That is a nice orange. Let's take this in second and scrape down the sides. You don't want any of that icing going to waste. Scrape off the excess on the little blades, boom. And we'll wipe that off before we use it for the black one in a minute. Now this is where I'm at with the orange color, and I kind of want it slightly more orange, so I'm going to add a few more drops in. Let's see how it looks. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Let's see how it goes. Looking a little bit more orange. Looks super awesome. Just slightly less pastel, but still pastel. Let's fling the extra off. Always be careful when you do that, because you want to keep the blades in the bowl in case your mom will not appreciate icing going everywhere. I know mine does not. Okay, so let's put that aside and go ahead and mix our black icing. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and mix this and make it nice black. So we got 2, 3, 1 more for good luck, 4. Now keep in mind that black icing might stain lips, teeth, tongue. like those delicious popsicles we all had as kids. So just, if it stains that, it will stain your clothes, so just always have a little apron. So we're gonna mix it up all nice. As you can see, it's kind of gray, so we're going to add just a little bit more because we want it a little bit more intense. 4 more drops. Use our handy dandy spatula to get it off there because you do not want to use your fingers. Keep on mixing. It's getting a little less gray, kind of to the point I want it. I don't want to add too much more because don't want to compromise the flavor. It shouldn't, but I think we're good now. Okay, so that's good to go. We'll put it to the side and we're gonna get started icing the cake. Okay, so we're gonna have to level off one of the layers of the cake, and that's what this is. This is from Wilton. I got it for myself a couple years ago. It's a cake leveler, so you can squeeze in the ends here and move this wire up and down to your desired height. So all you do is this. Instead of, it's more exact than with a knife, so you just scrape it by carefully, like so. And boom, she's level. Okay, we're gonna cut this next part out. Okay, now that we've leveled it off, as you can see, it's not 100% perfect, but it is, the dome's gone. So we're gonna put it on our little makeshift cake plate right here. We're just gonna take a little dollop of icing on your offset spatula or whatever you're wanting to use, like that. You're gonna wanna put it carefully in the middle of the plate here. That'll help your bottom layer stick so it's not like shaking around while you're trying to cut later. So we're gonna flip it. So now it's really flat, like so. Gonna get this out of the way. We're gonna start icing. And the best thing to use for icing is this weirdly shaped spatula, like the little L. It's, like I said, it's called an offset spatula. Mine is from Wilton, but honestly, any brand will do. It's not like a Nike. You just need an offset spatula that works. Mine is a little big, but it's what I got. So let's get started. Okay, so now that we've finished icing the middle layer, we're gonna take our top layer of cake, and now I know I leveled this one, but I'm not gonna level this one because I like the dome I got on it. So it gives it like a nice round pumpkin-y feel. Right there. Make sure it's nice and centered. There we go. And we're gonna go ahead and ice the rest of it, and we'll go from there. Nice dollop on there. And here we go. Okay, so we've iced our cake. It's a little bit of a rough job, but that's okay. I did notice that my cake got a little crumbly at the top, so there's some black cake crumbs mixed into the top. That might happen. Not sure why, but it's nothing to worry about. So now we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna pipe on the jack-o'-lantern face. So I'm just gonna put in the black icing into this little sandwich bag that we're gonna use as our makeshift piping bag. So that you don't have to go out and buy pricey piping bags and piping tips and all that fun stuff, unless you really want to. This is a simple, easy, effective way to do the exact same thing. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead. Okay, so now we have our icing in our piping bag. You can just use scissors to cut off the low corner so that you can do your decorating. Make sure it's a little easier if we twist it up so you have more control. I take a second. It's been a while since I piped stuff. Okay, so I accidentally cut the corner off a little too wide, but that's fine. We can make it work. So just start drawing. Like so. Fill it in. Make sure it's nice and smooth like that. Put the other eye, or whatever it is that you want to draw on there. Fill it in like that. It's not perfect, but that's okay. So we're gonna do a nice, saying you have control with something this tiny might not be too easy, but we'll make it work. Do a smiley or a frown like you want. Should have used more icing. That one's on me. I'm just gonna, nope, I ran out. That's a-okay, guys, if you run out of icing. So we're just gonna grab our spatula in a second so we can smooth it all out, so give me 1 minute. Okay, so here's our finished product. I hope you can see it okay. We put a little jack-o'-lantern face on this guy. Now, it's not perfect. That's okay, because you know what? That's not what matters. It matters on how good it tastes, and it is gonna taste delicious. So decorate your cakes however you want. You can put a little spooky ghost face. You can put a Frankenstein. You can put a Dracula. Anything you want. Make a cake to celebrate this wonderful holiday that we all love. So go out and enjoy your baking. See you guys.